Well, good evening visitors and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Dan Hiscock and joining us today from the Australian Army is Sergeant Stephen Carter. 2026 marks 125 years of dedicated service by the Australian Army and its predecessors. Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Clifford Stanley George Polkinghorne. This evening we are honoured to acknowledge the Minister of National Defence of Canada, the Honourable David J. McGuinty, accompanied by the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia and Minister for Defence, the Honourable Richard Marles, and the accompanying delegation. We are also honoured to acknowledge Commander German Armed Forces Office, Major General Oliver Cole. And we also warmly welcome Mr. Derek Payne, who is accompanied by former US Special Forces medic Jerry Delwo. As always, we welcome the veterans who have served, those still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Return and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Service Clubs Association, and we welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of Unity College visiting from Murray Bridge, South Australia, and Mountains Christian College visiting from Blackheath, New South Wales. Now, if you're able, I invite you all to please stand and join in singing the National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is God by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Students, please be seated, and anyone else if you're able to. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Clifford Stanley George Polkinghorne. Clifford Polkinghorne was born in 1891 in St Arnold, Victoria, the eldest of 4 children born to Samuel Polkinghorne, a farmer, and his wife Eliza Jane. Cliff grew up in the gold mining town of Ballarat and attended Humphrey Street State School. He played on the local cricket team and was an active member of the Methodist Church and the local YMCA. After his schooling, Cliff went to work as a clerk. He later trained as a teacher and taught at several local schools. When the First World War broke, he was working as a farmer at Chillingola, Victoria. Cliff Polkinghorne enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 5th of October 1914. He was assigned to the 2nd Reinforcements of the 8th Battalion with the rank of private and began training in Australia. He embarked for active service in February, sailing from Melbourne on the troop ship Clan McGillivray. In Egypt, Private Polkinghorne joined the rest of the 8th Battalion, including his brother Reginald, who had arrived some months earlier. They completed training in camp there before embarking for the Dardanelles in April 1915. On the 25th of April 1915, Polkinghorne and his comrades rowed ashore, rushing onto the beaches of Gallipoli just after sunrise. Coming under heavy fire from the enemy's positions on the high ground around Gabatepe, Polkinghorne's unit soon became mixed in with others attacking up the cliffs. Fighting their way towards their objective, they soon encountered scores of enemy entrenched on a knoll. Pinned down and unable to advance, they fought until the enemy was forced to retreat and the men of the 8th Battalion were able to consolidate their position. By nightfall, the 8th Battalion had suffered some 200 casualties. Among the dead was Private Cliff Polkinghorne. His brother Reg wrote home to their mother and described the battle. These are his words. "This is a very hard letter to write, though I know by now you will have come to expect it. Cliff died a glorious death, a hero in the very front line of battle. Thousands of others fell that same day on April the 25th. Although it was full of glory for us who were fighting, it meant a lot of suffering for all of you at home. It was a terrible fight, but none of us shirked it at all. Indeed, we were like old soldiers, the way we took the bloodshed around us. Cliff and I were together all the time after he arrived in Egypt and on the boat going to the Dardanelles. After we landed, we were together for about 10 minutes and then we got separated. We advanced and came under heavy fire at once, and that was about 9 o'clock in the morning on the first day. After that, I never had time to look or think until after dark, when we tried to reform our company, but only 50 returned. The other 200 had either been killed, were missing, or wounded. Before morning, however, 26 more turned up, making only 76 out of our company of over 250. It was then that the boys told me Cliff was gone. The fire of the Turks was so terrific that we could not get up the cliff until Tuesday morning. The boys did all they could for him. I know you will be grieving about Cliff, but do not worry. He died with others and all their memories will be honoured for centuries to come. Today, Cliff Polkinghorne lies at Shell Green Cemetery on Gallipoli. He was 23 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Clifford Stanley George Polkinghorne, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, We will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub of Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, the staff and the volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. Wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.